Hello and welcome to another cool IT video. Today I'm going to show you what I feel is one of the best budget builds for a gaming PC in October 2024. This gaming PC costs to build around $600 Canadian depending on the province plus tax, which could make it $1 million or fucking sales tax. Well, like 15% sales tax. So 600 is going to be like $700 if you're in Quebec. Tabarnak. So yeah, but if you translate that to US dollars, that's like $430. Anyways, I marked it down somewhere in the video. So without further ado, let's take a look. Ciao. To get started with this video, I'm going to have to talk about the Corsair 3000D Airflow case. This is the case I'm using on this build. It is a beautiful case. It has so much space inside for the longest GPUs. It's got amazing airflow. However, my complaint is that when purchased from Amazon, it only comes with one fan in the front and one in the back. Of course, you can add two more in the front, which is nice. You could have a huge radiator towards the top. All in all, an excellent case. They do also have an RGB version of this case for a little bit more, but personally I like mine nice and big and black. That's what she said. You could find this case right now on Amazon for 85 bucks at minus 26%, which is a pretty good deal. I personally bought for a little bit more, around $95, but I'm fine with that. It's a great case. As a budget computer, here is a budget motherboard, the ASRock A520M. It's honestly not the greatest board, but it will support all of the latest Ryzen CPUs. It's right now with a Ryzen 5600, which is an excellent budget CPU, and can later be upgraded to a 5800X3D if you ever wanted to max it out. This motherboard is pretty cheap. On Amazon, you find it for $92 Canadian, which is pretty much peanuts, and as I say, it runs everything you need to run. It doesn't have too much expansion, but you could definitely add a small little PCIe Wi-Fi card if you wanted to. The CPU I have running in this build is, as I said earlier, an AMD Ryzen 5 5600 6-core 12-thread. This CPU needs no introduction. It's one of the best budget gaming CPUs you can find on the market today. Alternatively, you could always go for an AMD Ryzen 5500 6-core 12-thread. It's a very decent CPU. It does perform a little slower than the 56, but not by too much. Basically, it has half of the L3 cache. It has 16 megabytes instead of 32 of the 56. And it also runs an older PCIe generation, meaning it goes up to PCIe 3 instead of PCIe 4. So the NVMe would be a little slower, but for the price, it is incredibly good value. The GPU I'm going with is the RX 5700 XT, which is a fantastic GPU that does compete with the RTX 3060 and even the 4060, minus the ray tracing, of course. You can find it anywhere between $150 to $250 on your local marketplace, but really anything over 220 bucks is kind of a ripoff. All right, so this is my price list for this specific build. The Ryzen 5600, as we saw earlier, it goes for around 150 Canadian, and the 55 is 120 Canadian. In this case, I marked 100 because I bought it as an open box, and I kept it in my stock for a while, so I just wanted to do something with it and get rid of this computer. It came with a RAV cooler, so here we have the ASRock motherboard that I mentioned. 32 gigs of RAM is plenty. 1 terabyte NVMe drive is perfect for this build. The RX 5700 at 180, it could be found cheaper for like 150, even 140 if you really look. And the case I've mentioned, the PSU is an excellent 550 watt, very good for everything. And again, this is $602 Canadian, or wonderful pesos. So if you're in the US and you're building this, the US is $436 for this level of performance. Is absolutely epic. All right, so here's my finished build with the cable management. I do find that I could have done slightly better if I would have purchased the cable extensions. Those always look really nice. However, this is a pure budget performance build. Also, an ATX motherboard would have looked very nice because it would go lower and has more expansion. But again, budget build. Also, it's an AM4 platform, which is kind of end of life. While it is end of life, it still has upgrade paths. For example, the CPU could be maxed out to a 5700X 3D or even a 58, but that usually costs quite a bit more. And the GPU, even with the Ryzen 5600 that's there right now, you could upgrade to an RX 7800 XT and it should be performing extremely nicely, or even an RTX 4070. And here's the rear cable management of my setup. I'm very proud of this one. It's very, very clean. As I said, this case has a lot of space and very easy to work with, and also has space for 2 mechanical drives, so you can shove in 2 times 4 terabytes or 2 times 6 if you need lots and lots of storage. So there you have it. This is my build. I'm very happy with it. Very clean. Computer is for sale for around $800, so I can make myself a measly $100 Canadian of profit. Now for the benchmarks. We're going to start our benchmark with Counter-Strike 2, and I'm setting it up on 1080p with the default high preset. Let's see what it gives us. So I really suck at this game, so let's see how it goes. Of course, only in the warm-up I could do decent. Alright. Of course, only in a warm-up. Let's see how I do in the real game. And that's to be expected. I actually like this gun. Nice. And of course. Let's see if I can Mac 10 some more people. Of course. Murdered. And I really suck with the op. Probably should have switched to pistol. Alright, to get back to the program of the actual computer, the frame rate is hovering around 258 average on high preset, which is pretty good. The GPU temp is under 70 degrees. GPU usage is around 80 to 90 something. VRAM, it's using almost all of its 8 gigs of VRAM, which is cool. CPU temps are 73, so the AMD Wraith cooler is doing a good job, but this is a very well ventilated case. So 252 FPS average and 1% lows around 100. Alright, let's give it a try with Fortnite. This time we're going at 1080p, DirectX 11, and we're gonna set it on the Epic quality preset. Alright, here we are on the bus, and I basically just installed the game and configured the preset and launched it. Usually on the first boot, especially on the bus when you're jumping in, you can have these tiny little stutters, but this usually irons out and then it's extra smooth gameplay. So let's take a look at how it is. Overall, we're averaging around 83, 85 FPS, but it should get a little better. Again, this is the Ultra preset. Time to slowly land and get a gun. As you can see, I'm not a super experienced gamer anymore. The average frame rate is actually coming up a little bit. So let's fast forward a little bit and see how it goes. Alright, I believe I heard someone around here. There we go. There we go. Down they go. I believe I found my next victims right ahead. Alright, that's one. Where's the other guy? There they go. Alright, time to find my next victim. There he is. Ah yes, the building. Oh shit, poor guy's getting double teamed. Alright, that's one down. I believe someone else was coming. Come on, die. There we go. Alright, so enough about that. Frame rate is always hovering around an average of 99-100. The temps are just as they were previously. They're always stable. GPU temp is 70 degrees and CPU temp is around 76. Let's just finish out these two guys and then move on to the next set of tests. I feel cheap. Alright, so now we're going to do another test with Fortnite once again, but this time I'm setting it as the medium preset with epic view distance. And here we are on bus, and some minor stutters as always on the bus, but it's still a lot better than what it was before. Alright, let's fast forward a little bit. Alright, here we are on the ground and finally armed. Let's go find some people. Alright, I didn't have to go very far. And down he goes. Alright, what's this thing? Sorry, I'm not a big Fortnite player. I think it's a shield, maybe? Alright, so GPU temps are at 69 degrees as always. CPU temps 75. Average frame rate is 140 frames per second, which is pretty decent. Let's kill this guy real quick. That is done. And let's see if we can get more people. Ooh, what the hell is this Terminator thing? I'm sorry, I mean Predator. Holy crap. Allez, whiscash. There we go. Give me the Predator weapon. Ooh, let's try this weird thing. How does it work? Ah yes, hold the button. Feels very dirty. Alright, so 140 frames per second on medium with ultra view distance. Alright, our last benchmark of the day is going to be Cyberpunk, which everyone loves. Here we have it on ultra preset, and I'm leaving everything as the defaults. And if we go to video, it's going to show that I am running on 1080p. And I did turn off the vertical sync. However, even with the vertical sync shut off, for some reason, it's like if the frame rate remains locked at 60 FPS. I didn't dig too much into it. It should have been going up higher, but I'm still very impressed for this computer to be locked at 60 FPS and to be so smooth. And here we see that I really suck at this game. It's been, I finished it. I love this game. It's fantastic, but now I only play it to just get in and benchmark different computers by running around and doing stupid shit like this. All in all, 60 solid frames. If we look at the frame time graph, it's perfectly smooth. GPU temperature for now is at 63. It's probably going to climb up to 70 with a little bit of time. But so far, it's not so bad. I'm actually quite surprised. The GPU usage is not pegged at 99%. And the CPU clock, CPU usage is at 73. That is most likely because the frame rate is capped at 60. But all in all, extremely smooth gameplay and quite beautiful graphics. Very, very happy with this setup. Alright, so here I am driving like a cyber psycho and just enjoying the beautiful sights of this night city while shooting a bunch of cops. Yeah, fantastic game. Let's be a little more psychotic. Alright, enough of that. Alright, besides that, I have ran a Steel Nomad and Time Spy. Here are the scores if you want to take a quick look. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this cool IT tech video for what I find is pretty much my favorite budget build that's around. As I said, AM4 is kind of a dead socket in the sense that it's end of life. Right now, AMD's with AM5, which is going to go for quite a while. But even this computer, the Ryzen 5600 is a very, very capable CPU. It's right there with the 5600X, which is a bit slightly more expensive for just a little bit more clock speed. But all in all, very, very capable even today. It will run a RX, what is it, RX 7800 XT. I'm pretty sure it's going to run that well, or a 7700 XT GPU will be a perfect balance for it, and the performance will be fantastic. Or if you really wanted to max it out like 3-4 years down the road, if instead of going for a new platform, you could just go on eBay and find a Ryzen 5700X3D, which is gonna really put a significant boost on the computer's CPU capabilities for gaming at least. And then you can put a 7900 GRE, or if we were going to go for the NVIDIA route, we would go for the RTX 4070 Super. Would be a very good match with that system. Anyways, with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video and I wish you an awesome night. Ciao.